Hey, podcast listeners. Today's essay is called The Most Common Way We Lose Our Souls. Most parents do not nurture their children nearly enough. This is in part because most parents don't know the importance of attunement or nurture to their children. And in addition to this, most parents themselves as children were not adequately nurtured. So they don't know what is supposed to happen. So none of this makes the parent an evil person, but the result of the lack of nurture itself is evil because it results in shame for a child. And shame is always evil. And shame is the enemy of humanity. The shame residue abides in our guts and it lives there throughout our lives. It keeps us locked into a false hope and a pattern of approval seeking from the parent while they're alive. And it gives us a blindness to their failure even after they die. Both of these things perpetuate our shame, which continues to eat away at our soul and destroy our lives. So let's talk about how we chase after the parents' approval. This is usually how it plays out. We find ourselves attuning to our parents as adults, especially as they age and as they decline, because this is the only semblance of nurture that we really receive from them is when we nurture them. It's really messed up, but when we don't know better, this is what we stupid humans do. The parent gives us their attention and their approval to some degree when we care for them. And this keeps us roped in, continuing to nurture them, simultaneously betraying our own inner child. When we do this, our bodies are not silent. Many of us experience GI issues, headaches, autoimmune disorders, insomnia, and the like. But we don't stop. Most of us persist because we don't know there is an alternative. We don't realize that it is our job to stop the cycle and to give that nurture and that approval to ourselves. What we don't understand is our pattern of giving nurture to our parents is literally killing us. You see, when we nurture our parents, it is not actually an embodiment of our love for them, like we would like to believe it is, but of our own desperate narcissism, because we're really in it for ourselves, trying to finally procure something that we were never able to obtain, their approval. What we don't allow ourselves to acknowledge is that it will never be given, nor will whatever we do receive from them ultimately satisfy. We are utterly betraying ourselves by continuing to outsource our nurture to the parent instead of giving it to ourselves. You see, when we nurture our parents, we are going against the very grain of the universe, because parents are designed to nurture their children at every age across the lifespan, not vice versa. We do so to our own detriment because this entails neglecting our inner child. At the end of the day, we can not do both. We have to choose. Either we nurture the parent or we nurture ourselves. We cannot do both. The more we neglect ourselves, the more our gut rebels, attempting to get our attention. This is the shame that we are incurring on our inner child as we continue to betray her. When the parent dies, it is unnecessarily painful because we have to come to terms with the fact we never received from them the thing we were most desperate for. Or we simply fight this reality, continuing to live in a deeper layer of denial. We continue to attune to our toxic parents long after they're deceased by telling ourselves a false narrative that they really were good and loving. This is incredibly common as most of us are okay with identifying one parent as bad as long as the other parent is, quote, good in our eyes. And we idealize this good parent, telling ourselves that they were good, telling ourselves a lie, when in fact, this parent did not actively love us well because they perpetually put their own comfort and their own needs above our own. The only time the parent really attuned to us was when we were meeting their needs, such as by listening to them or caring for them in some way. If we do not acknowledge the truth, it will be at the expense of our own soul because it causes us to live perpetually in a state of self-exile where we betray our inner child. The shame remains because that's what shame does. It severs our connection with ourselves. What is the solution? It is self-attunement or self-nurture. By allowing ourselves to feel and validate our own legitimate feelings of anger and hatred at the parent. It often entails a fantasy exercise in which we say aloud to the imagined parent in our mind's eye, I hate you. This allows us to finally expel the poison inside of us that's been there, concealed all along. When I have my clients do this fantasy exercise, I am privy to witnessing miracles. I recently did this with a client that I have been working with for many months. For many of those months, she was in a debilitating state of depression. After a while, she switched over to a hypomanic episode. And one day, she was ready to do this exercise at long last. And she was in a hypomanic state at the time for most of the session. She did the exercise where she closed her eyes, she imagined the parent, and she said out loud, I hate you, near the end of the session, about the last 10 minutes of the session. And after she did that exercise, I watched her become much calmer, and I saw her become a different person. Actually, she became herself. And I reflected to her, it looks like the mania is gone. You look really calm. And she said, I feel great. And those last 10 minutes of that session and every session since, I witnessed her come back to herself like nothing I have ever seen before. So, what do you say? Are you ready to do it, listener? You just close your eyes. You picture the imagined parent, the parent who actively hated you by prioritizing their own comfort above yours. And you say out loud, I hate you. If need be, you are welcome to preface that statement with, I love you and I hate you. That's okay too, because humans, we're messy creatures. We feel love and hate for the same person at the same time. That's okay. What do you say? Are you ready to break the cycle of shame and expel the poison out of your body at long last? It can't hurt anyone, but it could save your soul. Come and join this movement of rebels who are taking back their lives and surrendering denial and false hope and taking up self-nurture. Reality is a beautiful place to live, and that's where we arrive when we stop betraying ourselves at long last. Thank you for listening today. Please share this with a friend, subscribe to this podcast, and give me a 5-star review. Thank you so much, you guys.